Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of Worthington Renovation. I'm so pleased to have with me today our current General Manager and Chief Operating Officer, Bill DeLeo. This is Bill's first time in the weekly update. Bill, welcome.
Thank you,
to have
Rob.
you here.
Yeah, pleasure. My pleasure. It's exciting.
I know even when you're not on campus here, you're watching the video, so
oh yeah,
you know
yeah.
what's going on.
It's really been great, and as I said in the meeting this week, we appreciate your efforts for doing this, because it really sets the stage for what's going on here for people that aren't.
Thanks
here.
very much. I'm getting great comments, so it's very flattering. Bill, I know you. This area is not new to you, is it?
No. I've been in this area. We were in this area, my family and I, for almost 8 years. Between 2005 and 2013 at various clubs in the area, so I'm very familiar and excited about being back here.
And you still kind of commute back and forth to Jacksonville?
Yes, currently we're transitioning, so I'm commuting back and forth to Jacksonville, and we're looking forward to being here full-time in January.
Yep, terrific. Yep. Nice to, well, I wanted to touch on a couple of things before we talk about the golf course, but you took over July 1st. Had any challenges since then?
No challenges. It's been smooth sailing all the way, yeah.
Not being a betting man, but I would bet that the word hurricane isn't in your contract.
No, but it is in my background. As I told the board when we were talking about this position, and as I guess as ironic as it is, I had a lot of experience with Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, start to finish. So it was not out of my periphery to be able to deal with something like this, although it was difficult. We made it through it, and we are where we are today because of a lot of effort of a lot of people in the community.
Well, I know your history shows that you've come up with challenges and overcome adversity, so welcome to Worthington, because you got it here.
Yes, indeed.
Before we talk about the golf course, there are a few things I want to address. It was so good to see the tennis players out on the tennis courts, and I know there were some issues with the tennis courts initially.
Initially, there were a lot of issues, so we tried to prioritize, and what we could do first was restore the bocce courts and the tennis courts, the material on the surface, and bring in some extra material, and a great effort on behalf of Brian and his team to do that. So quickly we had tennis players back active, as well as bocce players.
I saw the bocce ball court seems to be going okay so far.
Going fantastic.
One of the questions I've heard around the community is the cabana. What's the situation with the cabana?
Yes, the cabana suffered some damage as well. We had some physical damage that we had to deal with. But I'm happy to say we did open it last Sunday for some football game watching activity. A lot of Patriot fans were off, but there were still enough fans over there to enjoy the activity, and we'll continue that through the end of the year. And then we will open the cabana full-time again in January.
For food? For
food operation, and basically full cabana operation for lunch 7 days a week.
So right now the cabana, if you're going to get food, you got to go to the clubhouse.
Yeah. We are servicing poolside through the clubhouse, so our service team is out there trying to do the best they can.
And next thing is the driving range. I know I've been filming the progress on the driving range. Time frame and getting that going?
Yes. So we're trying to phase this in now with the restoration activity that you're seeing and you're showing on the video. The priority for us is the practice facility. So getting it grass, both the chipping green, the putting green, and then the tee top. As soon as that is established, we have mats up there, brand new mat situation that we'll be able to start having activity up there sometime in January is our goal.
But it'll be mats only? Mats
only, and while the putting green and chipping green are growing in, the tee top is growing in, and Brian will maintain it, we can still have activity on the mats.
On the mats.
And we will have to restrict some of the activity, how long somebody can hit at one time. So we have a process in the golf shop we're working through by way of a bag system, likely, where you'll go in and get a bag of balls and then let your fellow member have his or her spot on the practice tee, and then we'll cycle through that way.
Yeah, I would think it's the only way you can control it.
I think so.
You know, I was talking to Ron Lapicus many months ago, and one of the things that he mentioned to me was that the celebration grass that's been going in on the fairways takes usually 90 to 120 days to mature.
Yes.
And while they got it in on the back nine, most of it on the back nine, the front nine's still a ways away. I think the last hole was hole number 6, which should have celebration grass on it by next week.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so the grassing process is nearing completion on the front nine, and hole 6 will be last to be grassed, so that will happen end of this week, beginning of next week. At that point, the clock starts ticking. In a normal growing summer season, it's a 90 to 120 day process. likely now as we go into the dormancy phase in the winter season, it's going to be much longer than that. That's why we can't commit to a firm opening date.
Yeah, just because we don't know when it's all going to.
It's hard to say. Right now, the sun's shining. You know, we're out here. It's 85 degrees and beautiful, but that can quickly turn. And when the overnight temperatures go into the 60s and 50s, it becomes tough to grow turf, especially the amount of turf that we have to grow in.
Can you talk a little about the damage that was done on the back nine? Even though the construction company completed a lot of it, I was out filming hole number 12, and while from the ground it looks like you'd play on it, there's still a lot of damage out there, isn't there?
Yeah, and then having done several projects like this from start to finish, development projects, when you get into the grow-in phase, the turf grass from a distance and even from an entire hole can look like it's ready to be played. But what's about to happen on the back nine is we're going to start extracting turf, as you can see here on number 10, extracting some of the areas that got damaged and go back in and sprig and sod those. So we're going to go a little bit backwards on the back nine, and then we'll be going forward, but slowly. As I said, the growing season's going to stall on us a little bit, but all in all, once the grass is all done and Total Golf is out of here towards the end of November, it'll be in Brian's hands and his team's hands to get into the full growing and maintenance process, and then we'll have a better idea about when we can open the golf course.
I know there was another flatbed of sod coming in late today, and I assume that's for the repairs on number 10, number 11, and so on.
Yes, the extensive repairs on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15 through 18 have some moderate repairs to be made. So while, again, the back nine was done and completed and looked great, it's going to, the members will see here, it's going to take a couple steps backwards before we take a full step forward.
And I think it's no secret that we're quite a ways away from opening anything right now, but I do know, I talked to Don and Kyle and Bill in the pro shop, and I know they're planning events off campus, and sometimes they're planning events up in Orlando and so on, resorts.
Yes, our commitment is to keep golf as an activity, obviously, and our reciprocal partners have been very nice to us. November and December is sort of a continuity of what would normally happen in the summer, and now we're talking to them about what access they might give us or provide us in January, February, and March, which is a little bit more difficult, but many of them have said they will. We're just waiting on certain things in terms of times and rates, but to your point, there's an effort also being staged to take members on trips that would be regional in nature. Orlando, Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail up in Alabama. It's probably an overnight trip or two. So stay tuned. There's more to follow on that, and we're certainly going to want you to play golf. And although I have told many members this is a great time to dedicate yourself to getting back in shape, our fitness facility is pretty much empty on a daily basis, so get in there and use that. Play some tennis, play bocce, enjoy the clubhouse activities that are going on in there, but golf will certainly be a priority as well.
In the long run, yeah.
In the long run.
I know you're at a somewhat difficult position and maybe unenviable position, because you're having to make decisions that are some popular, some unpopular, but it's all kind of falling on your shoulders at this time. So I wish you luck in all this. And the last thing I just want to address, because I heard it at the meeting yesterday, your emphasis on having the members stay off the golf course and the cart pass.
Yes, please. Thank you for bringing that up, Rob. As much as everybody wants to get out there and see it, and we realize it's been your thoroughfare to get to and from your home potentially in the past, but we would prefer and are encouraging you and highly recommending you stay off it for safety reasons, number one, but also just for the health of the turf, and the staff that's out there are really the only ones that should be out on the golf course.
Bill, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. You're in and out of meetings all day long.
My pleasure.
You've got too many people to deal with. But thank you very much for taking a few minutes to address the members. It was my pleasure to have you on this update for the very first time.
My pleasure being out here in the sunshine, and looking forward to seeing everybody that I haven't met yet when they return on campus.
Terrific. Thanks again, Bill. I'll be back in a few minutes, but let's take a look around the golf course and see what else is going on. It's quite evident a lot of work is still being done out here. In addition to finishing the renovation on the front 9, there's now damage to be repaired on the back 9. As Bill alluded to earlier, the back 9 will take a small step backward before moving forward. Again, I want to thank Bill for his time today. He's come into a challenging situation, and along with the management team, they're having to make very difficult decisions. But they're all confident that these decisions will benefit Worthington as a whole long term. On a personal note, on behalf of my wife Lori and myself, thanks to all who attended the Welcome Back dinner dance last Saturday. We had a fantastic time, and because of your response, we've been invited back to perform for the farewell dinner dance next April. We'll finalize a date soon and hope to see many of you there. Thanks again. Remember, keep off the golf course. And until next week, this is Rob Meads. Take care.